We sat here for ages. Right, just check the stream is going well. Hello, everybody.
Can you hear us?
Test, test, test. Is anyone out there? I think we're streaming right now.
It says we're live.
Yeah. Let's just... Yeah.
Anyone out there?
I'll just jump.
Happy Sunday evening, everybody.
Bear with us just while we get all of our
technical. We've got a different setup this week. We are in the spare bedroom, the box room that is Cal's office. Used to be a little kiddie's bedroom, but we're making the most out of the space now that we have it. We rocking, Cal? Is everything cool?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the chat up so we can see what's going on. Give me 2 seconds, we're nearly there.
Come on, Rufus, we need you.
Oh, excuse
so professional. Come and say hello to everyone.
Right then, I've got the chat open.
It'll go so smoothly. We're sat here for ages before we actually go live. But nothing's happening.
Right then, got the chat open.
Oh yes, and we're rocking.
Yeah. Can everyone hear us, see us?
Good evening, Mr. W. Good evening, Biddy the Bus. Fantastic's here. Stargazer Rob.
Ooh, flooding in
Happy
now.
Sunday, Antoinette.
You'd think we'd know how to stream better by now. It's been a bit of it's always a last minute job, isn't it, to get it up and running. Good evening, Scandivan.
Hello.
Cool. The chat's coming in nicely, yeah. So, yeah, happy Sunday, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. We're doing quite well, aren't we?
Yeah, rocking on. I've been doing my Sunday lunch shift at the pub today.
Yeah, we've had a bit of snow, not quite as much as last week, do we?
And we're just muddling along, really. Just what can you do?
Yeah.
Hope everyone's all right at home.
Rufus is keeping us very busy, which has been good fun, hasn't it?
Come and say hello, boy. It's his first live stream. He's doing well. What's it there? What is it? Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So if you hear any off-screen barking, it's most likely Rufus. So as you know, today, or this evening, we are joined by some very special guests. So I'll just run a quick little intro clip and then we'll say hello to the guests. Are we ready?
Roll it, Cal. And welcome to their first ever live stream, Jenny and Dean from the Fitness Forest.
Hello, how are you?
Good tar. Seen you too many times this week on the videos.
I know. You'd think we'd be getting used to it by now, but we're so nervous.
Don't be. It all goes swimmingly, I'm sure. So yeah, tonight I think we've just decided to have a little bit of a get to know you session. I think maybe a few Mr. and Mrs. questions later on when everyone hopefully puts them in the chat. We'll pull out some of the best and sort of get to know everyone a little bit better, I think.
Yeah. We are ready.
Anyone in the chat, if you've got a question for Jenny and Dean or Cal and myself and Rufus now, pop it in the chat and we will get fired away. Well, we'll fire away with the questions and answers, I suppose, really. So just good evening to Wobblebox Adventures. They've joined the live stream, the first one. I think they managed to catch. How are you getting on in Spain at the moment, guys?
The weather is fantastic. We're so lucky with the weather, but our town has just gone on lockdown for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks is nothing. We can't complain. So all the bars and cafes are shut. But up until a week ago, everything was open pretty much as normal. Where we are, we're not really in a busy space, so we're in a busy place, so we're fine. But we're absolutely loving it. God, the weather over here in wintertime is just, it's amazing.
I think your videos.
Yeah.
I keep thinking a delay on your videos because last time we saw you was quite sunny and stuff, and you're always dressed in t-shirts and.
I know. Yeah.
Each other and we're like, we were there once. We were there once.
It's snowing. It snowed 2 weeks ago up the north of Spain, and then it's like 22 degrees down the south. So it's crazy how different it can be. We planned to stay up the north of Spain a lot longer than we did. We just weren't prepared for the snow that we got as soon as we got there. So we were like, you know what? Screw this. We just drove as quickly as we could down to the south. Well, we could.
Sounds ideal. Yeah, we've been reminiscing, haven't we? We've gone through our timeline of where we were at what points in the year, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, the Facebook memories. Like last year, you were here.
You're not now.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to apologize for Jenny right now.
Know what I mean? I didn't mean like that. Anyway,
Don't you worry. So, our first question that we'd like to know is, where did you meet and when?
will I take this one?
You can take this one.
Okay, so we met in October 2016, and we actually met on a dating app. I don't know if you know of this one. I don't know if it's only Irish, but it was Plenty of Fish.
Oh, that's everywhere, that.
Yeah, is it?
What are you saying?
No, I'm not saying nothing, darling.
We were messaging back and forth, and we organized our first date. And before we went on our date, I did what most women probably do, and you try and stalk the person on Facebook just to make sure that they don't look like a serial killer of any sort. So I went onto his Facebook, I found him, and in his profile photos was his mum. And it turns out that I am actually friends with his mum in the same gym for the last 4 or 5 years. And I couldn't believe it. I know, and I didn't tell him on the first date just in case I didn't like him, because I didn't want to have to go back to his mum and say, oh geez, I went on a date with your son, but it's not happening, you didn't like it. So I waited till the second date, and I was like, guess what, Dean, I actually know your mom. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, we're actually friends, this is great. And that was it. But I knew I was going to be with him anyway for a good time. That's why I told him.
I have to say that was the most terrifying time ever. Like, hey, I know your mom. It's like, whoa, wait, what? I don't even know you.
You too.
Oh, yeah.
I know your family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Liam Neeson and Taken. She was like, detective. I know everyone.
Yeah. So that was it. We went for a first date in Starbucks for a coffee, and Dean was an hour late. And I was like, this isn't a good start. An hour late to our first date is no bueno.
I know it's fashionable to be late, but that's kind of pushing it a little bit.
Oh yeah, I definitely pushed it there, but I must have done something right because she's still here. So
you were texting me the whole time saying, I can't find it. Where are you? You know, so it wasn't he was like not going to show up. I knew he wasn't planning to come.
Do you know when your nerves are like when you're really nervous or anxious about something, and all of a sudden all common sense and like sense of direction and everything else just goes out the window when you make like silly mistakes? I just was driving around a road that I kind of know, and I took the wrong turn and ended up driving the long way and was in this mad area. I didn't know where I was going. And I was like, oh, now I'm 10 minutes late. 10 minutes late.
I've left my keys in the ignition on a car on a date once for the whole time in quite a busy area.
Whoa.
Yeah. Because you were nervous.
Yeah, nervous.
Yeah.
Everything goes out of like, woo, and it's just...
Yeah. I know.
Out with no car. Bridget Barco wants to know if you could have a superpower. Up a bit.
Greg's face on screen.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why? Good.
Thanks, Bridge, for the very difficult question.
You can go first, Jenny.
Oh, superpower. God, I don't know. Probably is. I know it's very cliche, and everybody probably says it, but flying. Is that a superpower? Is flying a superpower?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be great, to be fair. Yeah, that would be great.
That's a really hard one. I'd say to be able to make YouTube videos like Megan Pal.
Okay,
if I could do that, I would be, whatever.
Or visibility.
Yeah, if I could do...
great.
Actually, no, if I could pause aging for people around me. So if I could make like me and Jenny stay the same age, or my folks stay the same age, and freeze time with that, that's probably a different superpower, but that would be pretty cool.
And that's being a vampire, to be honest.
That's a very thoughtful answer, Dean. I like that.
Yeah. Now you make me look bad by saying flying. Yeah, I just want to fly.
Some
I
people
would
are more
say flying as well.
I'm gonna say, not that Bridget asked us, but hey ho. I would go teleporting, so you didn't have to like catch a really long ferry or drive for X amount of hours, and you could just teleport whatever you touched to somewhere where you want to be.
That would be very cool.
That's a great one.
Like Outlander. Have you ever seen that show,
Oh, I
Outlander?
love Outlander.
Oh,
We are dying to go to Craig the Dune. Touch the walls quick.
Oh yeah.
That's an idea, whatever.
Someone isn't as keen as I am because he's only seen clips of it where he walks in and I'm bawling and like proper crying and be like,
no spoilers. But I'd come back from work and I'd say, "What's happening now?" And Meg would describe the storyline. I was like, "Is this the same show? What? Doesn't make any sense."
We loved it. It's so good.
It's like 5 different stories. It's just you
Oh,
have to watch it from the start to get it. Otherwise, you're like, "What?
Yeah.
What is this?"
It's amazing.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I've just got a comment here. Hi, Ben Callum, putting out a vid this week using the positive pandemic question tag, which we've all done now. And said, "Hope you don't mind. I gave you a mention." Of course, yeah. No, that's what we said in the video. You don't feel as if you have to be tagged at all. It's a great initiative by Mel at Pebbles and Peach again, and it's just, it just reminds you how big and positive the community is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's lovely to know.
We got a question from Scandivan, and they want to know whereabouts in Ireland you're from.
Yeah, so we're both from Dublin, which is the capital, and yeah, we live about maybe 20 minutes drive from each other. Well, like we grew up 20 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
We're in the same gym for years. We didn't know.
Yeah.
So Jenny would work out in the morning, I'd work out in the evening, and we'd walk through the same doors every day and never know. And she trained downstairs, I trained upstairs, and then she knew my mum. Which is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're from Dublin and we love it. We love Ireland, and we only got to see half of Ireland in our first van trip in the Wild Atlantic Way.
Not even half. Only about such a small amount.
Yeah.
We've so much to do when we get back.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Gives you something to look forward to when you kind of know that's doable, that's realistic, especially in this state of
definitely.
the world.
I know.
Yeah.
No, we can't wait to do. We're from Ireland. We've never been to Donegal. Like, how that's crazy. Probably
Mad.
for somebody to say, I live in Ireland, I've never been to Donegal. So that's probably the first place on our list when we get back.
But you know what's weird? Like, I think you're never a tourist in your own town or country or city, and we're also guilty of that. Like, I'd never been to half the places. I don't think I was ever in County Kerry before.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't been to loads
Like,
places.
there's so much amazing things on your doorstep that if you just go there, and just stay away from your normal route to work and back in the shops, like, there's amazing stuff
I
everywhere.
think it might be a lot busier this year for like staycationers because we can't go to Europe. I think, beauty spots in England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, I think are going to be a lot busier. And if we get out, hopefully we'll have lockdown at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got a question lined up? Did I see your mouse hovering, mister?
It's just hovering in general, I think.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything you guys
Oh,
I've
Biddy
got
has
one.
a question.
Oh, Biddy.
Is it?
Harley has a question for Bo. First question, who's Bo? Oh, there she is.
Who's Bo? She's so offended, Meg. Oh my
I
God.
know for everyone else, I know who she is. Come on, us with our mascot collection behind us, we can't not know who Bo is. Jesus.
So Bo is our child. She's our van child.
Yep.
What's the question? Oh crap.
Hang on.
Back up on the screen for you.
Oh yeah. So Bo is cousins with Biddy the Bus's Bali. So when we met up on a van tour, we saw Bali, and Bali's like a shorter version of Bo.
A mini version of Bo.
And they were dancing to each other. They were having a great time. We were having a great time. And they want to know,
Has she found herself a Spanish sailor? No, Biddy. She is far too young for that. So
and with COVID restrictions, it's very hard to meet new people. We have to wear masks for little Bo.
she can't
We
hear.
have
She
our
doesn't know what that
masks.
is.
Yeah.
No. The answer is no, Biddy.
She's going to be young forever, Biddy.
Oh, classic.
Oh God.
Another question from us. Why Fitness Forest and how did the name come about?
Do you want me to do that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really difficult when you start a channel. you like, how do you name it? I know like you have Flora, so it's the name of your van.
Mm.
But like we called our van like Renault because the T on the end of our van broke off and it looks like Renault, but like it looks like Renault. So we just thought we'd give them a fancy name. That didn't seem very creative or sexy to put on a channel, unless your name's Renault. I'm sorry. But we thought that with us both being into fitness, and that's how we met. And then we're always out traveling and we're into kind of being in nature, and forest is probably our favorite terrain to be in.
Yeah.
We thought the fitness forest would be pretty suitable name. We realized it doesn't have a van in it. But yeah.
Yeah. Not that very exciting, but yeah.
I tried to make it exciting. But, you know.
I think we've asked questions out of order slightly. So obviously after you met, how long were you together? And then when did the van life bug bite? If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, were we together 3.5? We were together 3.5 years, and then we bought the van. When we were together 3.5.
We actually started by watching like one YouTube video for some random thing, and then I think I was looking up like space saving furniture tips and tricks, and I saw this like compact camper with all the amenities in this thing, and then I just started seeing all these van life things, and I was like, Jenny, would you live in a van? And her first answer was definitely not.
I was like, are you actually?
She's like,
me?
We can't do that. And I said, we can build it ourselves. And she's like, you've just watched the YouTube video, you don't own a screwdriver. How can we actually build a van, and why would I want to live in it?
Well, you didn't explain, but when he told me, Jenny, people are living in their vans and they go traveling in it. But before you understand the whole van life thing, it's like anybody who you tell first about it, they think you have a mattress in the back of a van and you're going to sleep in it. And I was like, are you mad? Because we didn't want to go backpacking, but when we came, it was too expensive to go backpacking for a year. When we totted up some figures, we were like, that's crazy, it's far too much money.
Yeah.
And then that's when Dean found this on YouTube and he was like, would you do it? I said no for ages, but we watched 100 million videos then, and I was convinced. I was like, when are we going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's fully converted.
Yeah.
It took us probably about a year to convert the van in total. We were working full-time jobs and we were doing it only on Saturdays and Sundays. So one of the hard parts was we built the van out of our front garden in a terraced house. So like we'd have to pull all the plywood sheets from the back through the house every single time.
Yeah.
Wind and rain, like plyboards flying up into our neighbor's garden, you know, our hands frozen with the cold trying to do this. Rain all the time, running in and out with tools.
The noise. Remember, we had to like stop sawing at 8 o'clock in the whatever, because of the kids next door, the baby sleeping. It was a bit of a nightmare.
When we left in the van, our neighbors must have been celebrating, like taking out champagne and being like, "They're gone, they're gone." Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah. So we did that 3.5 years. No, we're together 3.5 years.
Yeah, at the time we finished the van in probably March this year.
Yeah, March
last
this
year. Whoa, it's 2021. We finished in March 2020.
Yeah.
And we handed in our notice to our jobs in
the summertime.
Summertime. And yeah, we just went there. Kind of feel like we're really lucky that we missed a lot of the lockdown in Ireland, and then they had a little bit of a break from the summer lockdown, and that's when we went to the Wild Atlantic Grey. So we got full travel there. It was great. We were in the middle of nowhere, so we didn't really meet people. And then we got back, went into another lockdown, we left, and we've avoided any lockdowns until now, like last Wednesday. So we feel really fortunate. We know that everyone else has had it a little bit harder than us.
Ireland is just crap at the moment. So sorry to everybody in Ireland. We don't like rubbing anything in people's faces. You know, we know it's really shit time. Sorry, excuse my language. A really terrible time back at home in Ireland.
I think we said to you before, we felt very similar when we had our first lockdown in Sardinia. We put a few pictures up before we realised that maybe not everyone's going to appreciate it. We were stuck in like a Mediterranean island and had a pretty all right time, didn't we, really? So it's funny, but obviously you're where you are now. It's not your fault that other places locked down and that isn't, and you just make the best, stick within the rules and just do the best with the situation, don't you?
Realise that's in your control.
Yeah, like we wanted to make the most of the time, and like we got a lot of questions on Instagram of people that wanted to convert a van themselves, or had loads of questions about, you know, how do you do it in Ireland? Is it specific? So a lot of our videos have just been like how-to videos, like ones that we wish we knew before we started, and we thought that that was the best way to give people value while they're at home, you know, when they're researching stuff that they may not find elsewhere. elsewhere online.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, there's a few hellos in here. Hello, Diary of a Van.
You're very loud.
Oh, am I too loud? Sorry, am I too loud here?
No,
Lad?
no, fine. I like the
It
enthusiasm.
sounded like a radio presenter on like Radio 1.
Yeah, hello
There's
to everyone.
We're to Diary of a Van. I don't know if you can see their profile photo, but they're a family and they go around with giant panda heads on their heads and in all their photos. And it is so.
I have a transporter,
Yeah.
a Volkswagen as well, a pop top one.
Oh yeah, it's like
A family of 5, and for Halloween and Christmas and stuff, they're
with the
they're
panda
amazing.
heads. Oh, it's hilarious.
Massive panda heads, like superimposed panda heads in this white and black van. It's amazing. We love
5
watching
in a
their
little van. Crikey.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
big are the children? Like, are they all
I
young?
don't
I think it's average children's.
I told them they probably need a trailer to carry around all their what would you call it? Costumes.
Panda heads.
Yeah.
Their accessories.
It's very good though. See that's original. We're very boring with our fitness bars. We don't have any. We do bow. That's probably the best we have.
It's like we obviously have, for people who aren't familiar, we had Teddy Ralph that was given to us by our friend's child who was about 2 years at the time.
Yeah.
And we took took him around Europe with us, and he was always in the backpack. So we'd be on top of mountains and stuff, and like very public places, and maybe balancing him on like.
He's not got nothing in his belly, so he just flops over like a sandwich. So I'd be there trying to like catch him on something like rough to make him sit up and up to attention, but
Oh, he's
looking
cute.
like an idiot. And they'd be like, "Oh, who's that?" Like people were like, it's my Teddy. He's our mascot. He's come all the way from Shropshire.
Yeah, they're great.
It's one of those things like the more you talk about it, the worse it gets. Like you dig yourself in a hole. Like,
But they're great for photos. I love when people put their little mascots in the photos. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for them.
we love a good
Definitely
mascot.
spices it up a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so I think we might have missed a few comments. I'm sorry about that. It's hard to catch up. And hello to everyone who's joined the stream since we started.
Sue and Paul Brown love watching us in Sardinia.
We've just about been able to watch those videos again and not be too jealous of ourselves.
God, my town is fantastic. I look back at it now and think, oh, look at the colour of my tan. Anyway,
Hello, Happy Turf.
Happy Turf. Hi.
They're another one with a cool mascot. They've got like a log of turf that they put googly eyes on, and
Is that what it is?
Couldn't be more Irish.
it's like the most amazing mascot in the world. Sorry,
Literally
though.
fantastic. Yeah. It's class.
It's so
Yeah.
cool. Never seen Jenny and Dean. What camper van have you got? Did they please?
What camper van?
Yeah,
Oh,
just threw that
so-
up on screen. Sorry, I think we both saw it at the
Yeah,
same
so-
time. From Anthony.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony. We have a Renault Master. It's the 2011 van. It's a long wheelbase, and we didn't have any carpentry skills or common sense, it seems, before we started, because we made the most basic mistakes over and over again.
Yeah.
And we probably put years on our lives by building the van.
Yeah.
But now we're so much better, and like I think I've actually fallen in love with carpentry and like wanting to learn things. I'm like looking up YouTube videos on how to build like storage boxes and stuff the whole time.
Furniture design. He's mad, big interest in furniture design now.
Yeah. So yeah, you just kind of fall in love with the project, and even though it can be frustrating, and especially if you're a beginner, like to sit in your own van that you've built. I know it looks like a sauna a little bit to some people. We've used too much Danish oil maybe on the walls, but we love it. Like it's the most amazing feeling to sit in your van that you built.
Yeah,
we feel you on that
like
one.
when you finally get to enjoy it. Like you suddenly just have this realization you're at a lovely park up, like overlooking the sea.
Living
You've got
the dream.
everything you need in your little van, and you just like, wow,
Yeah.
it was worth all those cold winter nights and weekends.
And once
I know.
you've done it then opens up so many other things that you could possibly do. Like I'm constantly on Pinterest looking at what I can build out of pallet wood.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, things like that, and just think, oh, I could make that. I could do
Yeah.
that. I could redesign this whole static caravan if I wanted to.
Yeah.
We
Would
walked
you
around IKEA. Sorry, say that again, Cal. Go ahead.
No, sorry, you go. Sorry.
when we finally got some skills and we learned how to build basic things, we would walk around IKEA looking at the tables and we'd be bending down underneath saying, "Dude, look, this is just a bit of 2x2 stuck with another bit of 2x2 and 2 screws." I was like, "Geez, we could make that."
We would literally furniture shame everything in IKEA as if we were snobs. Like we're just like L-shaped brackets. What?
Shame, I've never heard that before. That's one for you. Hashtag furniture shame.
Well, not furniture shame, just to see how easy actually how things are made. Because we'd no idea before, but now that we know, now to be fair, I'm saying I actually have no idea. It's all me. I don't know.
A couple of things. Sorry, during our build, like stupid things like screwing something in place, which needed to be like the last thing to be done. You know, when we put like a top shelf on before we put the middle shelves in, like, oh my god,
yeah,
I didn't do that.
One of our big things is we have this wardrobe, and it looks kind of like a coffin. It's shaped really weird because the walls in the van aren't straight, so they kind of go up at an angle. So because it's cut like that, it looks like the weird top of a thing that goes in.
It does
really
look like a coffin, yeah.
And we put in one of the middle shelves first, and it was cut so tight that it doesn't go anywhere now. And I had to get a hammer and literally just whack it down into place. There was no screws in it, and it could hold, like, you could pull out of it, and it's never going to go anywhere. So it's just like, why did I even put that in there first? And like, just so many silly things. But
yeah,
would you do it again?
Yeah, I'd love to build another van. I'm trying to convince Jenny. So if this live stream gets 1,000 likes, Jenny will have to do another van. Make that happen, guys.
That's a trick.
Keep hitting that like button.
Darren says Teddy Roberts says hi. That was one of the
winners. Yeah.
Yes.
Good evening.
Darren and Karen.
We've got a question. I'll just pop up on screen from Claire. Apart from Bo, what's the one thing you couldn't live without in the van?
What's yours?
Jeepers. Probably the kettle. If I couldn't make tea, I'd probably go insane.
Yeah.
I need to make multiple cups of tea per day. So definitely the kettle. The fridge is coming in close second, maybe first. Our fridge is just a lifesaver. The fact that we can have ice in a tiny little freezer and it all runs off the solar panels is just, amazing. So yeah, what about you?
I think.
Please look around.
Yeah, visual cues. I think the diesel heater is probably the most important. It's just like, it was daunting to get put in, but once you have it in, you're like, how did we manage before this?
Yeah.
Like within a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, the van is like, it's like a sauna. And literally, you're just sitting in a sauna. It's too warm. So yeah, that and the fridge probably the most important.
Yeah.
What about you?
What's the most of
I think you would choose the diesel heater.
Yeah, I love to be hot, like just warm. Like me and Meg operate on very different temperatures. I'm a few degrees cooler than you are.
I'm very warm now, and I've had a very red neck, and my hands are all like clammy, and the heaters I've just reached down and turned it off. What did I say? I think important ones. I think a very comfy bed, because I'm a big sleeper. I'm a big fan of the sleep.
Yeah.
I
haven't noticed that.
We love your bed design, actually. Yeah. Like your bed design, the pull-out bed is something that is really cool. Yeah. If we got like a different van, we might try that one. We wanted to go with like the U-shaped bed with the drop-down table for for space.
For sitting space. Yeah.
Like our van is so big, we can get away with it.
Knows how proud Cal was of his bed. I just took that. I managed to find out how to click it.
Well, it's our. I don't know how we stumbled upon it, but it works like in our tiny little van, you know, compared to some vans, we've got to make the most of the space.
Yeah.
And we love the layout. There's little things we change, I think.
And I also think Rufus is going to be a huge fan of the diesel heater because he lies now from his walk. He lies in front of the warm air heater in the caravan. And then he's also quite a fan of the bed. So I think he's going to be with us on that.
Oh, and he'll be like a little hot water bottle for you sitting in between. He's in the bed, keep you toasty.
To like the pillow space, so he's like literally on your shoulder or on your chest, over your neck. He loves it, but that he doesn't sleep in the bed all the time. Everyone, it just evenings and morning snuggles. He sleeps in his own bed for the rest of the time.
He'll fall asleep in your bed, and then when he's fully asleep, you carry him into his own cot.
Just tuck him in with his.
And
He's all
cow breast
fast,
on the way through. No, he doesn't. Where is that quick fire from Bruce?
Bruce.
Hello, Bruce.
Quick fire questions up on
Okay.
screen.
Oh,
Who's more
get
like?
your paddles out.
Oh,
We made
Okay.
these.
I've just
Okay.
realised that they could be. Yeah,
They
yeah,
could
that's
be.
it.
Okay, so we'll answer them in our couples. Yeah, so it's either Miss or Mrs. Question 1: Who's more likely to run out of fuel? 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Well, there you go.
rude.
I thought.
You think
I
we're
would.
running out of fuel?
Yeah. Okay.
That's probably true.
Well, Callum used to have no fuel gauge in one of your cars before, so it's happened to Cal before because there's no fuel gauge.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's. How could you drive a car with no fuel gauge? I would be having mini panic attacks the whole way to work.
Yeah, it was bad. And it was a really, really thirsty car. So it was such a roulette wheel. It was like, am I going to run out today? So yeah, it was exciting, wasn't it? I did a bit of variety.
Living on
to
the
that.
edge, Cal. Wild. Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Next one. Who's
Yeah.
more likely to bin a container with food that has gone off?
3, 2.
Oh, yeah.
one.
You're like, totally me.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's you.
definitely. I have a fear of gone off food.
That's the right way around.
What, like, no, because you always say I'm not, if food's gone off or is on the edge, I'm never that keen as you are. That's how I read the question. If anything, that's Bruce's fault.
Bruce, you have to stir it up tonight.
Oh,
Well done, sir.
I'm a bit funny with dates on stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dean's
Who's more
okay.
likely to read- I'm sorry. Next
ahead,
one.
yeah.
Who's more likely to read instructions?
3, 2, 1.
Snappy, snap, snap.
Not always. I do like a good guessing game as well, but
Oh, I have zero patience.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
You got
You
one
okay?
or
Yeah.
Varlis?
yeah.
I'll go. What has been your highlight so far from your trips?
What do you think?
Oh, the highlight for me, it was the national park up the north of Spain. It was called, oh God, what was it?
Fuente
Near Fuente de Park Europa in the north of Spain. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. When we were driving through there, it was unbelievable. We could see eagles, birds, the cliffs. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And going through the small villages to get there was just fabulous.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think for me, probably in County Cork on our Wild Atlantic Way trip, we went to a place called Mizzen Head.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean or something like that. It's incredible. We went there and it was like one of the only times neither of us were talking. We were just like looking around in awe. Like it was gorgeous, really good weather that day. And it was just amazing.
Yeah, it was fab.
Yeah.
Definitely going back there.
You just have those certain days that just like leave like a lasting memory.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, so many.
the dog had gone bite the
He's the
cables.
star of
And
the
You naughty boy.
Oh, that's a good one.
What's that one?
Scandivan, who's the most paranoid about the batteries in solar? We could do Mr. and Mrs. for that one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a quick answer. I
Yeah,
think.
I think we already know.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Cal, we're just
No.
responsible. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. No disrespect intended, but I don't think Meg knows how to read the voltages. So
That's why I got you, girl.
I just look at the smiley face. I go, yeah, we've half a battery. We're good to go.
Yeah, if he's smiling, we're all good. If he's
Yeah.
frowning, forget it.
That's your responsibilities. If you ever want to swap and look after my responsibilities, like tea every night,
Oh,
you let me know.
Meg, I say the same thing. I hear you. I know.
Cal, I think we'll just keep our responsibilities. I'm happy in my my side of this situation.
Yes.
I've read the instructions, so I know how to do it.
You're the subject matter expert here.
Oh god, hilarious.
Oh, I've got new comments.
Family.
What is our fantastic family? Lisa and Oliver, hello.
What a great question to stir it up.
What did she say? Where is it?
Oh.
You go first, Jenny and Dave. You choose who's going first.
What did you say about me?
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, go first.
So, my pet hate about Jenny.
First of all, do I know these already?
I hope so.
This is going to be the first time that I'm about to hear this.
No, I think just, I wouldn't call it pet hate, but one thing that's different is we're on different sleep schedules. So Jenny goes to bed super early, and when you're in a van, I'm like hiding in my phone in the corner of the van, like trying to watch Netflix and stuff, and she's just like sleeping away. But then in the morning, it's like stupid o'clock in the morning. She's like, morning, and I'm like, oh, you know. So we're just on two different time frames, but yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. My pet hate will probably be every time I come down from this bed into the kitchen area, it makes a big doof. And Dean goes, Jenny, every time do you have to jump? And I'm like, Dean, I'm just standing. But for some reason, I make a big thud when I jump. And he's always coming out to me about that. So that probably drives me a little bit mad. What else do like?
Oh, they only asked for one.
Oh,
you don't need loads here.
We've got a while.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what Dean's very neat and loves everything in its place. And if I don't put something into a box properly, he'll take it out again and fold up the wires properly. Whereas I'm literally just shove it into the box, it fits, and close it up. And I'm fine with that. But Dean, he wouldn't be able to sleep if he knew that something wasn't put into the box properly.
Yeah, I think when you're in such a small space and you don't know where something is, and you're lifting up like fold down latch levers and like leaned over in weird directions trying to pull out something, you're like, was it in that box or this box? It can be so frustrating in the van. So
yes.
Yeah. I'm a little bit, what's the word for that? Scatty. I'm a bit scatty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good word.
Yeah. Oh well.
What about you two?
Yeah.
I don't know really.
Which one to choose?
What have I blamed you?
Being like sleeping in.
Yeah, I suppose that is a constant little pet hate.
It doesn't even have to be van. It could be in here.
Meg's inability to wake up in the mornings, even when it's not particularly early.
Just even set an alarm, I'm a snoozer.
Yeah, and it's like I have to like really try. And she's like, "Oh, I won't. I'll wake up if you bring me a coffee and kiss me on the forehead." It still doesn't work. It still doesn't work.
Thanks for the coffee. Now, if you brought me lunch, I'd be.
Because I have like lateness is something I don't like. So if you're sleeping in, it's going to make me late, and it's not my fault. That does get on my.
Yeah, but I'm not very late very often. I just cut it very fine.
Yeah, it can be distressed for no reason. You know, I try to avoid stress where possible, so it doesn't help.
Yeah.
I'm the exact same. God, Meg, you're the same as Dean. That's crazy. Yeah. So like,
I'm on Team Meg there.
I'm the same as Cal. Dean's the same as Meg. Yeah.
Nothing better than a lion sometimes.
Oh, not having to set an alarm in the morning is just that's the reason we did Vanlife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But what's my pet hate about you?
Too late. Right, let's move on.
All right, then quickly. You don't like to write lists and tick them off, even if they're like the mundane bits, even if they're mundane stuff, and then it gets to more tax and stuff. I like to cross it off. You don't even like to write them in the first place, and then we know where we are. Like I'm looking at one now that was from when we first came back, and it's my writing, my ticking off, and it's not up to date, and it's annoying me.
Actually, that's another pet hate about Meg. I forgot that one.
Sometimes I even have to rewrite lists if they look untidy.
Yeah.
Or if I've got too much stuff off and have a fresh one for the next month. But I've tried to stop that and write in pencil and rub it out. There you go. Next question, please.
Next question on. We're changing gears a little bit. So Biddy the Bus said, we're well aware of Jenny Dean's genre of music, which I think is a little bit reggae. Would I be right in saying?
Yes.
You like?
We even have reggae colours here on our homemade crochet blanket.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
To be fair, it is all Dean. I just go along with it. I really don't care. I like any music.
She's easy going.
Yeah.
Show me the ukulele.
I know. Well, what's your favorite music, guys?
We have quite a mix, I think. I think I skew slightly heavier sort of rock music.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of metal even on occasion. And then Meg, you like all sorts, don't you?
I like old 90s stuff. I like vintage dance, like a bit like 90s Ibiza. I like acoustic, like Ben Howard, on a guitar on the beach with a fire going. Yeah, everything. Like even my mom and dad's taste in music, like I still know all the words to like Lighthouse Family and The Cause.
Yeah.
They were on the other day. I was giving large.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
It's a bit of everything. So like on those long drives, we have a playlist that will be it'll go from one extreme to the other, won't it?
Yeah.
It'll be Cause, and then it'll go into a bit of Slipknot, possibly. Then you'll go back to a bit.
I saw Slipknot in Dublin in a concert before. They were amazing.
Yeah.
So I used to be a rocker, if you believe it or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, saw Metallica, Tenacious D, Slipknot, all them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got into reggae music recently, and then just
I got appreciation for reggae.
Oh yeah, we have a bit of that on the playlist as well. You got it.
Oh yes.
But another question will pop up from Antoinette. She's asking, do you both drive a van?
well,
This is funny, really.
we'll start with Ireland. So Jenny drove a combination of 12 minutes on our whole Irish trip. That was to go across the whole country and back, and that was it. And then in Spain,
In Spain, I drove a total of an hour and a half on our biggest trip down. But like, to be fair, we do only tend to drive a maximum of 2 hours a day. And sure, we don't need to switch over for 2 hours. It was okay driving for 2 hours.
am I?
Yeah, and well, a little reminder, when we were living in Ireland, I did most of the driving. Dean sold his car way before I did, so I drove the both of us everywhere. So it's payback time.
It is.
Yeah.
No, but we divvy up kind of van life chores, if you want to call it that. So like I'll do video editing and that kind of stuff and driving, and Jenny will cook, make
Clean.
lots of tea, clean. What else? Loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever else.
Who does the like the trip planning, like where you're gonna camp, where you're gonna go, what you're gonna see?
Probably.
I'd say half.
Yes, probably half. If we know, if either of us have heard a place that someone else has been or someone said is great, we'll say let's go there. And it's generally both of us actually. We'll both look it up and check for park for night spots and have a few backup spots, to go to.
Yeah.
I
think if we look at like books like Lonely Planet and that kind of stuff, it'll be me reading the book and then saying to Jenny about a place, and then she'll find like stops along the way. So yeah.
I think you just like both fall into a sort of rhythm, don't you? That kind of works.
Yeah.
Does what Meg does most of our planning, but I do help like looking for spots if you're struggling or thinking,
But a lot of the time it's totally new to us. So I'm having to do a lot of research to try and make the most sense of like the road ahead of us and what's to see, where we want to camp, what we need, like van chores kind of stuff, shopping, water, things like that. So that takes up a lot more time than I think people would think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
A lot of the van stuff just takes a long time because it's such a small space. Like even going shopping and then making your dinner takes so much longer than a house.
Yeah.
Then
is
editing videos, same.
Sorry, it's a misconception of when we started. We thought, we're not going to be working. We're going to make the odd video. We're going to have like hours of time to do absolutely nothing, and that's just not the case.
No,
not the case.
That's saying we fell into that trap, even though people had warned us, and we said, "Oh, we probably won't have time." I haven't. I think I brought about 4 or 5 books with me, and I think I've read about 10 pages. I got stuck into Netflix. I watched a full 7 series of Vampire Diaries since I left. Like, just ridiculous stuff. I was like, what am I doing with all this time that I have to go traveling? And I'm watching either stupid Netflix. Now, to be fair, we go out and we do all of our walks and we go for, workouts and all that stuff. But
we were very similar. And I think to be honest, I think you need that, because after a while, when you're seeing like amazing place, it can get a little bit overwhelming, or maybe even like if that becomes the normal level, then it kind of loses its shine a bit. So we definitely enjoyed watching Netflix. We watched a lot of crime on the road and all sorts. So I think you do need that.
Yeah.
Just pop up a question from Anthony.
Yeah.
Mal and Cal.
Mal, basically, if we would stay loyal to our vans, so us with Flora and you guys with the Renault. And I suppose for the time being, we're quite content. I think we'll have to see how it goes with little Rufus as well. There's plenty of room because he's only tiny and he won't get that big anyway. And there's a few mods we definitely want to do. And I think we're mostly happy.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we like about it is that it's all bought and paid for.
Yeah.
There's no fee or loans on it or anything like that. That it's done, sitting on the drive, ready for adventure. We know how it all works, and it's ours. Whereas, but then when we go in other people's vans, not at the moment, obviously, but like my dad's got a big, like a larger motorhome. My granddad's got an even bigger one than that, and then we think like how like luxurious it is. They're not. Neither of them are particularly like top end models, but it's like that's everything just fits in its place, and it is a lot more professional.
Oh yeah,
unbelievably more than Flora, but Flora's got her quirks. And
I think the best thing about Flora is her size. That's also a negative, but we managed to like go down like the smaller tracks and find like really secluded spots and beaches, which the bigger ones just wouldn't be able to do. So it's that trade-off, I think, for us.
Yeah,
I think for the trip that we're doing, we think Renault is perfect. Like, it's basically like a little apartment on wheels. Jenny's done a full workout inside the van when it was raining. So that just shows you how much space there actually is. Like you mentioned about the size being a good thing, it's actually a bad thing as well, because some height restrictions on barriers, and when you get to the edge of cliffs and your van is 2.7 meters tall, including the solar panels, it can be so windy, and you feel like the van's going to shake and fall off.
We've gone up so many dirt tracks that we've had to literally just almost abandon the van and try and turn around, and we'd be in an absolute flap. And especially in Ireland, that's why Dean wants to do. He wants to sell the van and build a new, smaller one.
You can't say when we're inside the van.
Sorry,
Renault, we don't mean to sell it.
I love this van. I would be happy to keep this, but again, for Ireland, I think the roads are so tiny, and we got stuck so many times. And the problem is, I think the biggest problem is us. We're just panickers.
We're cowards.
We are not calm. We are not relaxed. We're not the type to go, it's grand. We are in the rest of our life, but when it comes to driving on roads, we are like, oh, geez, the two of us would be in a flap, and we just, anyway. So,
well, it's your home, isn't it? It's everything, and we've got in situations before where I'm like, how are we going to get out of this now?
Someone, when we got stuck in France, was like, are we going to have to get a copter to come in and like take us out? I'm like,
we were in such a bad spot. And that was obviously exaggerating, but if we got any more stuck than we were, I don't know how we would have got out.
It would have been a farmer with a tractor.
Oh.
We got stuck in this place. Where were we going? Tordesillas. And we saw this spot on Park for Night. I don't always trust Park for Night, guys. We saw this place, and it was like a vineyard, and it was like the pictures in the light looked amazing. It
was highly rated.
5 stars, recent reviews, all this stuff. And we're like, oh, we'll just park outside the town and we'll go into town tomorrow and have a little wander around. And we drove while it was getting dark and the sun was going down. We tried 3 different spots. They were terrible. We drove down this like narrow road for tractors, and we were like, oh, we're going to be fine. We're going to get there.
It was on muck, thick muck.
We needed off-road tires, and we just thought we got stuck. And it seemed like the starting of every horror film you've ever watched. And we were like, no, it's pitch black. There's no lights around. Tractors have driven on this thing. It was just terrifying. We drove out.
Yeah.
So the van being so big and heavy was so hard to like do a 3-point turn between tractor tracks. It was just.
It was wild.
It is scary then.
Yeah,
We've gotten into some hairy situations
some sticky situations. Yeah.
in this van, but we love this van.
Yep.
We do love it. It's very cozy. It's more like a home than anything else.
I think if we're the only problem we'd have when like if we go back home is just finding parking for the van. Like your van would probably be okay for like most parking spots, but we can't fit in most parking spots. We overhang, so trying to keep them stored if we're not in the van is pretty hard.
Yeah, that's it. Greg was saying we need a suspension body kit mods to look
And
cool.
the alloys, Greg, we haven't forgotten.
Claire said, "What's your most embarrassing van story?"
So many. I don't know if you're really going to want to know. I don't know if you really want to, and all the other poor people listening to the stream. So,
Love to know.
you got one off the top of your head that's like, I've got one, but we're going to start talking about what we talked about the other day.
Yeah, that's what I was literally about. I was thinking the same thing.
What?
So,
Not.
Everyone that's done van life or an aspect of van life knows that the toilet is a highly talked about issue among van lifers, because there's people that don't do it, that don't understand how we do it. People that have got porta potties with like the cassettes that come out and you can put into the airs and the campsites, waste facilities. Yeah, that's all cool, but sometimes that isn't always the best option or the most simple option.
Yeah.
So there's times where, if you've watched our videos before, which we've been quite open and honest, we've got a little poop basket, which is a plastic little curver box that we put a compostable bag in. We do the do, and then sometimes we try and bury it in, because it's a decompostable bag in the wilderness, but sometimes it needs to go in the bin and treat it as if it was a dog poop, for instance.
Yeah.
And we were in quite a town centre. We could see the bin, and once we just like cut open a orange juice carton, popped it in there, compacted it in, and just went, woof, in it goes. No one knows until, well, hopefully no one will ever know. We'll leave it at that. That's quite a funny little story. It's not too embarrassing because nothing bad ever happened, but but the thoughts around it, and like, what if someone stops and asks you what's in your bag?
Yeah.
Or like, where's your dog? You're putting a dog poop back in. Where's your dog?
I know.
Oh, he's run off.
Yeah.
Rufus, where are you?
We do exact same. We use those compostable bags too, and if we're somewhere where we bury them, fair enough. But if there's bins nearby, I will literally have them tied in a bag and be walking up the street, thinking it's just as if like I've just picked up my dog's poo and just put it into the bin, and that's it. But we're the same, yeah.
Anyway, if you've got an embarrassing story that's got nothing to do with poop, feel free to rock with it.
What are you thinking? No, I don't think we don't have any really embarrassing stories. I don't think so.
No, just for something.
Yeah.
But that's it.
No embarrassing stories. We're well used to pooing in front of each other now. He still gets a little.
I think it gets relationship next level.
Yep. Once you get to the stage of the bathroom door stays open, then you're in it for life. So.
Yeah. All right.
Is that right, baby?
So we'll go on from embarrassing and we'll go to scariest. I think I'll jump in first quickly. It's not just one situation, it's multiple for us in Sardinia. Was the wild boars that we didn't know were wild boars for a little while, and weird sounds outside the van. There was a lot of wildlife at that point period. So I remember one evening we just brushed our teeth. We were at this derelict old football ground in the middle of nowhere in Sardinia, and we were just brushing our teeth,
emptying the jug of like spit water, open the door.
Very important.
Yeah, well, we didn't know at this point. We opened the door and there was just this noise. There was like,
Made the dog jump.
And it was so close. We're like, okay, and just gently, because I've been hearing footsteps all night in the woods, and Meg's like, you're hearing things. I'm like, no, I can hear people in the woods. And this is like middle of nowhere, so I find that quite scary. But once we knew it was a boar, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
noises at night time, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I
And
think-
nighttime is terrifying.
Yeah.
When you hear, we don't have a crazy scary experience.
I have one.
Well, you're going to talk about getting stuck in the
No.
camper? Oh,
County Clare with
County Clare.
your friend in the hotel.
Oh,
I'll do
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Okay. So we've just had
We
an
conferred
agreement,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
a decision has been made on the scariest experience. So we were in County Clare in Ireland, and it was lashing rain. If anyone doesn't know what lashing means, just like pouring rain. And we were hiding out in a hotel, having tea and stuff like that, and we couldn't find a spot to stay. So we went back at night time in the dim of night in the shadows, and we thought we'd drive into this like hotel grounds and park there in the back.
Which we know is illegal. Apparently in Ireland, you're not meant to sleep in your
Yeah.
campers and hotel. But
And
we
it
were
says
stuck.
it says on this particular hotel, you know, only guests can park here.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, right, we'll try and come back later on when it's nighttime. And we came back and we parked in the furthest, most like out of the way space you could possibly park. Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And anyway, as soon as we got into the van, we had to jump out the front, run into the side doors, really sneaky, stealthily.
Yeah.
And as soon as we got there, we heard this car coming along, and we were like, oh, it's happening now. And then all of a sudden,
They pull up right beside us and the engine goes off.
in an empty car park.
Yeah.
So they were obviously following us. And do you want to take over?
We were like, oh God, who's that? And we stayed still. I had literally had my left lace open, ready to take off my shoes. I was like, let's just wait. And next thing, so you're listening out, which probably a lot of Canberra people do. You know, when you hear a car pull up and you're like, oh God, is there anybody getting out? Can you hear more than one person? And next thing, someone bangs on the window. And I go, oh no, hotels after seeing us, the security, they're probably going to kick us out. I said, Dean, you go out. Go out and talk to them. So Dean goes out.
And all I hear is this girl saying, is Jenny there? And I was like, how do they know Jenny's in the van? Like, what's going on?
And I could hear this. And I was like, oh my God, who is that? I recognized the voice.
We ended up knowing, well, Jenny knows this girl. And we were around her town that day, and we were checking in on Instagram in the hotel. And she drove around the town to try and find us.
Yeah.
And she brought us like a grocery, like
A big bag of goodies. She literally just saw us on Instagram in that hotel earlier that day and wanted to bring us a present. And she, thanks Leanne, by the way, you're probably
Yeah,
not
Leanne,
watching,
you're a
but just in
legend.
case you are, she brought us a massive big bag of goodies. But I tell you what, we both almost had a heart attack because we've never been asked to move on in the van yet. And we were waiting for that day to happen. We thought that was the time, but
yeah.
we've been very lucky so far.
It was just as soon as we got in the van, the door like it banged on, and like you can put sound deadening in your van all you want, but as soon as someone bangs on a window or a door and you're inside the van, it sounds like
Yeah.
they're aggressive.
It's got to be like one of the scariest noises.
You can feel your heart in your chest.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
Yeah.
what was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
We had
Or
like one situation where we were in Sardinia and just after lockdown had eased, I think, and we were pretty much just waking up, and suddenly it was bang, bang, bang. But we have like reflectix up, and we couldn't see outside the windows. Like, oh my God, like blurry eyed.
Anyone.
And then I think we peel away and we see two men outside the van in like official uniform, but they had guns on them, didn't they? Because they were
Yeah.
they were like the
And there's us in our jammers, like,
I opened the door.
who is this?
I'm like, hello.
Warning voices.
Yeah. Obviously, our communication skills, especially after just waking up, were like non-existent. But they were completely fine. But that noise and that fear of like someone knocking is what always like makes you like jump up. It is scary.
Or do you ever park? Oh yeah, go on. Yeah, sorry.
No, sorry.
Do you ever park up when you find a park for night spot or a wild camping spot and there's nobody else there and you think you're the only person who's going to be there, and then 12 o'clock at night you hear someone drive down and it's hard to see out our windows because they're all dark tinted windows, and if they've no lights on we can't see anything. We'd have to get out of the van. So a couple of times I'd make Dean go. He'd have to get out with a torch just to see is it another camper, which when it is, we're so happy when we see another camper. We're like, oh, sometimes we do feel better when there's another camper or two around, just the safety in numbers. Some people have been totally alone, but one or two campers is very nice.
Yeah.
Feel safer.
Yeah.
It's funny,
Yeah.
but I also get a bit like carried away. I remember another time we were in a spot for 2 or 3 days probably, and every night around the same time for probably about 20 minutes, this car would come into quite a big car park, And to be fair, there was a couple of vans in there all the time, and it would just go around and around for about 20 minutes, really slowly. And I was like, I don't like the look of that. And then by the third night, I was like looking out of the window, like behind the reflectix, and it turned out that all they were doing in the end was just driving their baby around to make it fall asleep. But obviously, in my mind, I'm like, what is that car up to? And then
totally. Jeez, that's hilarious, though.
I think it's going to be like a drug deal, and I look out, just a baby in a little bonnet just going around the car park.
Bruce has gone a long time ago. Sorry, Bruce, and so is Fantastic. So night, guys.
Yeah,
apologies for. And we've got Stuart Hunter wants to know. He's thinking of traveling around Ireland. Where's the best places to go? Name 3 or 4 of your top spots.
Daniel Beach in County Kerry. Wow, it's like it looks like a secluded beach when there's not many people there. The sea in the summertime was so blue and so clear, it wasn't that wavy. And when we were told about that spot, and when we got there, it was just like paradise. We were like, where is this? So Daniel Beach in County Kerry, definitely number 1.
I think County Cork and County Kerry, just like, you can't go wrong. You're staying on the coast.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. If you're in the summertime or springtime, it's amazing. The only thing we will say is watch out for the wind.
Yeah,
you know, it's called a wild Atlantic Way for a reason. So park inland maybe at night time, but yeah, you can't go wrong by going around that way.
Yeah.
And you can actually follow the whole route. I think Scotland has the N5 something, some like drive around Scotland. Like, it's a planned route. I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah. The NC 500.
Yeah, so our version of that is called the Wild Atlantic Way, and it goes all the way from the south up to the north. We went halfway up, but County Kerry and County Cork are just incredible.
Kerry's probably my favorite. Kerry is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, can't wait to go back.
We really want to. We were meant to be there months ago. We were planning to be there probably around March, April time this
when we
year.
came back, I think in August last year,
Yeah.
we wanted to be there for about spring. And take your bar of chocolate. We still haven't eaten that chocolate that you sent us.
We still have it. Oh my god!
We put it in the cupboard next to the passport, and I got it out the other day. I was like, how have we not eaten their chocolate yet?
God, that's hilarious.
It has to be the night before you go to Ireland. Have that chocolate.
That bar of chocolate was bought in Dingle, County Kerry.
Oh.
Just so you know, Dingle is one of the best places.
Another one of our lists.
Big spot.
Yeah, Dingle.
Yeah.
We were looking forward to it, and I think, you know, it's not a million miles away. So when the world does start to open up again and it's safe to do so, I think it's definitely one of the places we'll head to.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I just saw Anthony's comment.
I'm trying to shake the image of Meg sat on a carton of orange juice. Sorry, Anthony. You can don't have nightmares, darling.
This is one that I think will apply to both of us. Is the aircon situation?
Yeah, do you want to go first?
Yeah, we'll go first. So no, we aircon, cruise control, and
6th gear.
6th gear was something we overlooked with our van. Aircon was not an issue until it was like July.
25 degrees plus in Sardinia.
It was like hitting like high 30s in the van.
Yeah.
Well,
since from about 25 upwards.
Yeah.
That's when you've got a bit of an issue. But then
memories of you in your bra and knickers and me in my boxer shorts driving on like the French roads, just like,
please don't look in because you're gonna have a shock.
You're like, I'll open the window and the breeze comes in and it's even warmer and you're like,
it's like a hairdryer.
Yeah, it's something we overlooked massively, and I think having the dog now will dictate a little bit more that we won't do that. And we didn't enjoy the mega heat anyway. If we're on a beach, fair enough, but then you're going back to the van, and if that's been sat in the sun,
yeah. Sometimes it was really like quite because van life, you think sun, heat, lovely weather, you think perfect, but if you're not kitted up for it, like we were without the fridge and the ice, like you come back to a warm van with warm water, not ice cold water. Everything was just sweaty and not, you know, you feel a bit more cleaner as well, I think, in cooler climates as well. But I think we'd already decided on not traveling to like south of Europe in the summer, even before the dog came into consideration. What about you?
Yeah. So we don't have aircon. We do have 6th gear, but we don't have cruise control. So we have 1 out of the 3. Aircon hasn't been that bad because we kind of came to Spain in the winter, and even though we're down the very south, we're planning to move up north as it gets warmer in April, May, and stuff like that. I don't think we'd be able to stay in the full van in summer without the aircon. Like
we have a big fan. You know, our big fan is good, but it's one stage it got very hot, and I was like, what are we going to do if we are here in July? So we don't want to be here in the hot summer months.
Now we do have ventilation. We've got 2 vents at the van. We've got one at the back and one at the front, and the front one has a motor on it, so there's like a cross wind going through. And the portable one is rechargeable batteries, which we can take to cafes when the world wasn't shut.
Well, we charge it
charge it here as well.
Cruise control, Dean would love. Oh my god, there's so many times we were driving and Dean was like, if we had cruise control now it would be amazing. But it just isn't.
It's just things you overlook because you don't know when you're first heading out. You don't know what you need, so you do your best. So no aircon, but probably that'd be a real treat for the next one.
It depends on that. Like when we bought our van, we were like, it doesn't have cruise control and it doesn't have air conditioning, but we got it at such a good price. So we were like, well, look, it's really cheap. It's a good van engine wise. Let's just sacrifice, not have the cruise control. Obviously, we would love it, but we got it at a good price, so we don't care. We'll be grand. We'll live with it.
As Antoinette says, it makes you more hardcore. Not having all these uber creature comforts, even a fridge in our face.
You're like super hardcore.
Vanlife rebels.
And then
look at us.
I think back and then I think, how did we live in that little van without a fridge, without all this?
I'm looking forward to the next time.
Because
you have these memories, but I think you also see it through rose tinted glasses. I don't know if you guys have got that mindset yet. And then I read my diary. I kept a diary, a handwritten like a 2019 diary, and I've got where we stayed, what we did, sometimes what we ate, like what video was going up on YouTube, and any comments. And some of it is like bad day, couldn't find bin, too hot. And there'd be something like cow pissed me off or something like that.
Doesn't sound like me.
We're the exact same. Sometimes we're like, we can't wait to go back to Ireland and do the Wild Atlantic Way. But then sometimes Dean forgets, that we almost cried a couple of times in the van with the wind, thinking it was going to take off the vents. So you do forget all those things and you do only remember the good parts. Which is why I think Dean has forgotten what it's like to actually build a van and wants to build a second van. Rose hid the glasses.
Remember 1,000 likes this video and we build a new van. How's that happen?
Oh god.
So we'll see.
So
I'd like to see that series on YouTube. I'm building a new van and Jenny's just gonna watch and say, I don't want to do it.
Pretty much. That will be She'd like say don't come back until the van's finished. Don't talk to me about the frustrations. Just show me the finished van.
Get van envy though.
Didn't even Megan Keller hardcore. That's funny.
Has anyone got any questions? Because I think we've probably missed a few, and I do apologise.
We've just hit the hour mark as well, guys.
Wow.
First live stream.
Wow.
Yes, is there any more questions, van life or general misses, or just a bit of...
I've got one on my list. It's a bit deep.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Told you it was deep.
Probably back home, saving up for the next trip.
That wasn't that deep.
Most likely. Where do you see ourselves?
Yeah, I think like we definitely have the travel bug, and even before van life, we just get cheap flights to like Nottingham for the weekend and like Edinburgh and stuff like that, and just fly different places. So we've always kind of been doing short little breaks, and I think we'll continue to do that. I think Vegas is one of our favorite places in the world, and I think just working for a while, saving up, and then going off for a trip is probably the best way. We're also really lucky because we own a house and we can rent out the house. That's some extra savings for when we get back. So yeah, fingers crossed we're all safe and healthy in 5 years' time, and we can just keep traveling and just keep enjoying it.
Yeah, and all vaccinated.
Yeah, and what about you guys? Meg and Kat?
5 years' time. Where do you see yourself?
Me and Rufus.
Knew you were going to be in there.
I don't know, really. I think I would like to continue this lifestyle of working for a while, then going away. Although it's hard to come back into normal life and do work, but we know that the rewards of working, saving up money, and then hitting the road are just so great.
And whilst we're on this, Antoinette's just that a bit cheeky. Do you have jobs on the road or savings for now?
Oh, sorry.
Well, I think that's aimed at you, actually, guys, not necessarily.
Yeah, so we don't work at the moment. We purposely just saved up as much as we could. We kind of were saving for about a year.
We looked at your budget. We actually
watched your videos. Like,
yeah.
We binged watching your videos while we were saving up and building our van. So it got us through like the frustrations of building a van, and looking at your budget to kind of gauge, you know, how much will we need.
Yeah, just to get a number. We weren't sure of just a number. How much do we actually need?
Yeah. So it's been working pretty well. We have enough that if we calculate it properly and stick to our budget, we think we have enough for 2 years of non-stop travel. Now we're 6-7 months into that now, and we've kind of had restrictions because certain countries like Portugal and stuff are closed temporarily and whatever else. But yeah, we think we have savings for another year and a half anyway.
Yeah. But no, we don't have jobs on the road, and we didn't want to have to get jobs on the road. We didn't want to have that extra stress. I was like, we've been working so much at home. I don't want to leave a job to go into another job if we're only doing this for a few years at a time.
Yeah.
Just let's save up as much as we can and off we go. Let's not have to worry about it. Now, if we got stuck and we had to find jobs, we would try and do that. But
I think one of the things that we might get into in the future, and it's probably just out of a want to kind of have an impact, is like we're both qualified personal trainers, and doing online personal training, especially nowadays when people are stuck at home and they want to know how can they get fit and healthy and stuff like that. If we do work on the road, that's probably what it's going to be, just because the apps make it so easy for it to do it. And it's something that we really want to help people with, and it's interesting to us. But we don't want to have to work in something like just a job while we're on the road. So we're really fortunate that we don't have to for the moment.
Yeah.
I think that's what we wanted as well, wasn't it? We wanted to actually enjoy the time. Like you said, you work so hard and save up so much, like working as well. Like I said, it's the stress of like you need signal, so you need to be driving around looking for a signal and electric and all this stuff.
I believe they call it a sabbatical when you go for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah, we've never done a sabbatical.
No, my job I used to work for Amazon, and I worked there for 8 years, and then their sabbatical is only 3 months. So they're like, you can come back in 3 months, and I was like, sorry.
Back in 3 years.
Yeah. You say 3 years or 3 months? Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So Scandi Van's asked a lovely question. If you could take your van anywhere in the world, where would it be? Where would you van life? Sorry, I made up the question as I went there.
Yeah, you guys take this one first.
I think I'd like to head up north, Scandinavia, put some 4-wheel drive in the van and some big beefy tires.
Yeah,
I think that'd be nice.
Me, New Zealand. I've got a calling at the moment. I'd like to go there. Both islands.
Yeah.
I think we've said Canada. I wonder, could we bring our van to Canada somehow?
Yeah.
It would be tricky. We'd be scared. But
Well, always.
we'd like to do it. Yeah.
Canada looks amazing. Like some of the forests and lakes and mountains just look incredible.
Just one.
Yeah, just a quick question from Meg.
When do we get to see Flora again? Still waiting for Meg's campfire cooking. Well, we're thinking about doing a Valentine's date night in the van. I've got my heart set on it, and I won't be the one cooking. Cal is, because it's date night. So I'm going to save that as a little spoiler, little spoiler, and it will also be Rufus's first night in the van as well, on the drive, of course, because we can't really go anywhere. So we'll have like a little night of just remembering, I suppose, and introductions for Rufus and introductions to Cal to the 2-burner hob.
Beans on toast, Cal. You can't go wrong.
Oh, you can with me. Yeah, we'll see what happens on Valentine's.
Yeah.
Bobby said, "What wine are you drinking, Meg? Is it a vintage?"
Oh, it's one from the pub that I was working at. I said, any chance I can have a cheap bottle of red wine for tonight? Because we're doing a YouTube live stream. They look at me like I'm an absolute idiot. I'm drinking a Chilean Merlot Pacamaya. There you go.
Ooh.
Pacamaya. It's all right. It's going down nicely.
Old man in a camper van asked, "What's your favourite gadget?" Which is, we haven't had that one, have we? I think.
No.
I'm frantically looking around for gadgets here.
I think
Just when I was trying to remember.
I always have my mind blown by the solar panel. It just
And me.
yeah, to be able to just make electric, especially when it's sunny. And I'm like, because our little scream the smiley faces under our bed, so every 5 minutes I'm looking under like, 5 amps. Close it. 6. I'm just getting obsessed. I love the solar panel. It's amazing.
Yeah. I think probably the solar panel. Like, we have the little smiley face up on the side of the wardrobe, so when you're in bed you can still see it, and it is really exciting to see, like, is the battery charging? What's going on? And then we know, we can charge whatever. It is incredible to think that you just get free electricity once you pay once off.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
another one is
What about the Wi-Fi dongle? Would that be a gadget?
yeah, we have a mobile SIM Wi-Fi extender. So getting SIM cards in local countries for cheap, and then using their having Wi-Fi.
It's great.
And then the third one is probably, we have refillable LPG, and I know you've talked about it on your channel before about gas and the cost of gas and all that stuff. It costs a lot up front to get the refillable LPG, but we've actually only topped it up once, and it cost us €12.
Yeah.
And we topped it up in the summer.
We just can't empty this
last year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost like somebody was just messing with us and filling it up when we're asleep and like not telling us, because we actually can't believe it still lasted this long.
Unless the gauge is broken, it's actually always empty. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be
Still
like Carl's
working.
car that you don't know. But it's yet to let us down, so we love that.
Yeah, having the gas like that is great.
Incredible.
Yeah, we love it. So
From
home. Oh, Lisa, I can't wait. Oh, we can't wait to do van jobs in Ireland when we get back. Social distance, obviously, if we can. But we've met so many nice people on Instagram since we started this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of Instagram can be fake and stuff, but geez, we have met some really nice people. And Lisa and Oliver are 2 of those people. And we just can't wait to meet up with these people when we get back. I think I said people about 10 times there.
Yeah, they've actually got a Renault Master, and they fit it for 5 people. They've got 3 kids. Yeah. And they fit their whole family in the same van. It's the same size as. So it's great. And I think Instagram, like, for community and the whole van life thing, is just amazing. The people you meet, and like, you actually feel like you really, really know those people. Yeah. And you got so much in common. Like, we love it. We love talking to the same people.
Yeah.
We talked about this the other night. We think that people that live in vans or travel in vans long term, one thing that I think it's a phrase that I use is that we're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
You know, you want to say that? And that we've all got, there's so many like things and like interests that overlap that it's quite rare to find people that you don't get on with or find at least something in common with. So
It's great.
I'm just looking forward to having the times where we can have a campfire and everyone sit around, because we're meant to be doing something like that, and it just obviously hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So we speak to a lot of people online, but I haven't really met a lot in person yet, have we?
Not really. We want to do Flora Fest.
Yeah.
Sounds
That
great.
we've even talked to like where we live at the moment, and they even suggested that it be here.
Yeah.
So I've got excited, but then I've had to calm down again because it's just not looking like it's going to happen anytime soon, really. But when we can, we will do it, and you've got an invite, guys.
Ambo.
Ambo, of course.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes. Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
farm.
would be great. Oh.
We've got a question from Darren regarding my famous fleece I lived in for quite a while in the van. It's hanging up, isn't it? You've taken it away from me, so I can't.
I haven't taken it away. If you opened your eyes, you'd see it.
Yeah.
It's been washed, Darren, and it's away. It's not in the van, but it's like out of the way, ready for his next adventure.
This is quite a good one from Bobby. Is there anything that you thought was important and that proved to be quite useless?
Oh,
I think for us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, go on.
We both had an epiphany at the same time.
You go ahead first. Go on, Carl.
For us, a weird one. Well, the surfboards are a bit of a meme, bit of a joke, but also like levelers. Sorry, Harry, if you're watching. I know you bought those, but what you chuck underneath your wheels to level your van out, we just never used them.
Mainly because we can't be asked. It's just so much effort and faff, and we prefer to sleep with the heads at the other end at a slight wonky angle.
Yeah, that's not a good choice.
We did the exact same. We have a pair of chucks. Do we call them chucks?
Are they chucks?
Yeah.
Never ever use them. It's just we try and find a flat parking spot, and if we can't find a flat parking spot, we're the same. We just kind of sleep a little bit tilted, but
Squashed against the wall.
yeah.
Yeah. Callum, get over you you would like this. Oh.
Sometimes you can't tell if the van is on a tilt. What we do is we have my lip balm, like a little cylinder lip balm, and we put it on the kitchen on the counter, and we let it roll, and we're like, oh crap, we're actually not flat.
It's a lip balm test.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Compared to a spirit level.
Yeah.
I like it.
But clothes, guys, we have brought far too much clothes.
Oh,
I thought I was being minimalist when I packed for the clothes. I've literally wore the same t-shirt, the same few t-shirts and leggings and shorts on rotation and wash them. I can't wait to just get rid of them all when we're finished, and repack just a few things.
lads, we've a blow up kayak under our seats that's still in the box. It's never been opened, and the thing is, like, obviously it's massive, and it's just like it's sitting there. We have a slack line we've used once.
Yeah.
We have
Camp chairs. Never used our camp chairs. Yeah. So much stuff we brought that we just have not used. We don't need.
It's insane.
It took 3 months for our camp chairs to come out, and that was an effort because we had to get in the roof box.
And then they broke
within a couple of months, and then we had to buy new ones.
The clothes as well. Like, I found that we'd do our laundry, we'd pack those clothes away. Next day, I'll go for new clothes, and it'd be just the rotation of whatever was at the front. So it's just some clothes I got out, and I was like, I didn't even know that was in the van.
And I think one of the things that we have as well is the awning.
Yeah.
So we have it like in a tent bag again under the seats, and we have a rail on the van, and we were like, oh yeah, we're going to use it all the time. We've had to force ourselves to use it once, and we only used it once, so I didn't feel bad about spending the money on it.
Yeah.
It went straight back in the bag, and it's just
No need. Yeah, but it's there if we ever needed it.
Yeah.
I think awnings are for the time when you are. Oh, that's my own voice. When you're stood still in a campsite or at a festival, and you need extra space if the weather's crap. But for wild, it's just not realistic because you're not going to set that up to draw more attention to yourselves.
I know.
Yeah. Get told to go and bugger off, and we've got to then pack it all away and go.
Yeah.
You're right. It is actually for a campsite. That's probably why.
Hopefully we can use it sometime.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stag. I didn't mean to leave that up on the screen for so long when you asked. You send a question. It's just in the chat. It's me selecting them.
Stag, I've got a little treat for you this week. So Cal was just doing some prep for the live stream. You better tell the story. It was actually your story.
I'm not sure what you're going to
say. When he sent in that comment saying, "Am I a bit early?"
Oh yeah, was it yesterday?
You put the poops up, Cal, my love.
Because I was kind of in the lobby, but not live. At least I didn't think I was. And suddenly I saw the Stag said, "Am I early?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I've been like 20 minutes by myself doing nothing."
Oh,
Stargazer Rob, thank you so much for your lovely comment.
Yeah, I think.
And Anthony Phillips there wants to know about our gas. Is there a gauge?
Yeah, you prefer on your phone.
Yeah, we actually do have a gauge on it, and it literally is a little needle in a little circle that says full, all going all the way from green, it says full, and then all the way down to red empty. So it's brilliant. So we can tell exactly how much is in the gas canister.
Yeah, there's nothing worse because we were on those little camping gas bottles, and some countries are harder to find than others, so we'd have to try and time it right. And if it ran out, we'd be using those Meg's got a little portable briefcase burner, and it uses the little gas canisters that are about this big, and they last about 2 seconds.
And they're really bad. You can recycle them, but they're so non-efficient and zero waste. You're not playing the game with those, but needs busted our situation.
Yeah.
We actually met a couple on the road, right? And they had those camping gas too, and they were complaining that their gas was running out. But what they actually do is when they make a cup of tea, when they fill the kettle up, they put it into a 2-liter flask instead of having to remake, a few cups of tea throughout the day, which is what we do because we have loads of gas. But we thought that was a great idea. Make it once, fill up the flask and drink the tea for a few hours so you don't have to keep going back and making cups of tea, here and there.
Yeah.
We thought that was great.
Yeah, that was a good one. Right then, another question from Anthony. Second one from the bottom. Meg, when are you going to do another live quiz night? It's about time. It is about time, Anthony. Yeah. And Jenny and Dean, you were saying how much you enjoyed it.
Oh, we loved it. The crack we had.
So I think we might do one before the English lockdown ends. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to need to do some research. I'm going to need to find some new questions. But we've had a few ideas during this live chat prep with Jenny and Dean about how we can make it a little bit more interesting, not all about the PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah. Hopefully in the next few weeks, if we pull our fingers out and get it all arranged.
Yeah.
And then another one from Antoinette. Have you ever set fire to anything in the van? Because I think we might have.
Oh, we did.
What did we set fire to?
I'm sure there's been the odd
bit of you've melted a plastic Tupperware lid in this caravan, not the van.
Yeah, that was silly.
We've accidentally melted Cal's very posh, expensive Dock and Bay towel when we had a little incident in Sardinia with our first ever campfire. Sparks flew up, went on his towel, and because it's plasticky, because it's microfiber, it just melted straight through. And then when I washed it and then put it in the tumble dryer, those holes then became bigger because the tumble dryer was heating it up and making it expand. So Cal needs a new towel.
Yeah,
this is what they have.
Yeah. We're careful not to have real candles in the van, but what do you think we set something on fire?
No, so when we got our refillable RPG.
Oh God.
You see by that reaction.
This is a bad story. Yeah.
So we filled up the tank and we had somebody filling it up for us, and that was fine.
It was the very first time filling up the tank.
Yeah. We didn't know that you had to turn the gas to closed because we never used the tank before. So we filled it up until it was, at its max level.
Yeah. And
we drove home. We're like, we're €13 or €12. We're so happy. Halfway home, I was like, my gas.
I said, we were driving in the van on the motorway, and I said, Dean, I could be just imagining it because my brain is OCD, but I really do think I smell gas. And he was like, you don't. And I was like, Dean, I do. And now I think I'm getting dizzy. I think I'm just panicking. Maybe I'm just having a panic attack. I think I smell gas. It got stronger and stronger. Okay, so Dean goes, "What'll I do? Will I pull over on the M50 on the motorway?" And I said, "No, don't. Get home as quick as you can." So we got home, parked the van, went into the back, and all we can hear is hissing. The gas was literally filling the van, and we were actually a little bit dizzy for a while after. So we rang the gas guy who actually gave us, he installed the gas for us, the set, and gave us our cert. And we rang him because he'd only done it 2 days before. And I said, "Hi, Pat. Do you remember the camper van you did? Yeah, I think the gas is leaking." And he was like, "What? It couldn't be." And he was like, "Don't light anything." He was like, "I'll be out tomorrow." I was like, "What am I meant to do in the meantime?" So he said, "Is there a noise coming from it?" And I was like, "Yes, there's a hissing noise." And he goes, "The valve must be open." And we said, "Well, what do we do?" Now, lads, we are
Close the valve.
idiots. We were absolute idiots. It was just a case of turning the knob to the right to close it. And we could have actually killed ourselves. Anyway,
Yeah.
we don't pay €6 worth of gas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this-
You live and you learn.
yeah.
And when sleeping, I nearly fell off the chair.
Oh God, he's so cute.
We also
We
had
had-
a. Sorry, go on.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, we also, when we tried testing the gas here, we have our kitchen
Yeah.
storage above the gas.
Yeah.
And the gas installer was like, "Hey, you could probably fireproof the bottom of that wardrobe." I'm like, "No, it's grand. It's really high way. It's fine." And he showed us, he turned it on for a bit, and we went to the wood, and he's like, "That will probably catch fire." So we had to panic, and we had this weird fake marble countertop wheel that's fire resistant that we have in our kitchen.
Yeah.
We had to put it on the top as well because
The wood, the kitchen above the hob, we never even thought of that when we were building it.
Yeah.
And once there's a pot on top, it's fine. It actually, we panicked for no reason. It doesn't get as hot, so we're all right.
you learn all this stuff as you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're the same. Our roof is it's not that far away from from the burner. We got away with it somehow.
Yeah.
We're like,
Literally a fluke.
yeah. And even we've got an old door that's our kitchen top, and we've got a section that lifts up to reveal the cooker.
Yeah.
We didn't even measure, we cut it all out, and we didn't even measure that when you lifted that up, it wouldn't hit the roof, and it misses by millimeters, isn't it?
The door, the stays, there's little hinge stays that keep it up, but it's still not at a dead 90 degree angle. It's about 87 or something like that. Very rough mathematics there.
It's crazy. That rarely works out in your favor.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it did.
We got so lucky.
And that door cost more money than we really should have spent on it. So if we'd have fudged it up, it would have been a real, absolute, really annoying thing to do.
Yeah.
So we go lip balm level. Nice.
Yeah, Bobby.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think that's it. Unless anyone else has any more specific questions before we start wrapping up. An hour and a half.
Wow.
Time flies,
Wow.
doesn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
does.
that's crazy. Well, that was very exciting. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Rufus has been asleep for the whole time.
Oh,
Look at him.
he's like a little angel.
He doesn't enjoy the live streaming with us, obviously.
No.
Oh.
Great.
But obviously, people in the chat, in the video description will be a link to Jenny and Dean's channel and their Instagram and everything. So please do go over and follow them as well. They're on the road and will be continuing their adventure a lot sooner than we will be. So if you want some proper travel,
Proper van life.
proper van life,
Yeah.
and go ahead and subscribe.
And we honestly can't wait to meet you guys in the proper flesh.
Us
Yes.
too. We can't wait.
I don't know where it'll be, if it'll be Ireland, England, or on the continent somewhere in Europe. God knows, but we are dead keen.
Yeah.
It could be space. It doesn't matter. We will meet up.
Definitely.
Definitely, yeah. Cool.
Yes. All righties.
Yep.
Everything
I
right.
think we've got all the questions.
Really there. Well, thanks everybody for
Yeah.
tuning in and watching.
Thanks so much. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. And thanks, guys, for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. We've really enjoyed it.
Yes.
It's nice to talk to you guys properly.
Instead
It's
of just
a-
through Instagram.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Studying
Right
for
then,
months.
yeah.
Thank you everyone for
Yeah.
watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Yeah. Whenever that will be.
Say goodbye, pumpkin boy. Can't make him wave.
He's well asleep. Right.
Thanks
night,
so much,
everybody.
guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a
Bye.
night.
fabulous España.
We will. Bye. Bye.